Hi, welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel. Today I'm going to be following up on a previous video where I built a motorized canoe out of some old junk that I had around the house. And didn't go quite as fast as I wanted it to, so I'm going to try to tune up the little motor that I built out of a weed whacker and see if I can push just a little bit more performance out of this thing. So what I've just removed here is the carburetor from this little engine. And if you're not familiar with a carburetor, these were designed personally by Satan specifically to screw you over. Clog, block, fail, and otherwise make your life terrible. Now I'm only slightly joking. So I'm going to try to open this thing up a little bit, clean it out. And usually when you start digging into these, they fall apart, they break, little springs go everywhere, corks fall apart, seals fail, gaskets melt. Everything that can go wrong with these usually goes wrong as soon as you start touching them. I actually was prepared this time with a gasket kit so I could replace these little rubber gaskets if necessary, but just to spite me, they've decided not to rip this time. Old gasoline tends to form little clogs, little bits of wax, things that can get into all these little orifices, all these fiddly little valves, and just generally gum things up. So if you've got a small engine that's not running quite right, and there's a carburetor involved, usually the culprit is going to be the carburetor. The one thing you have to be careful of is if it's an old enough carburetor, these gaskets can actually be soluble in the carb cleaner. And if you take a really old carb and you soak it full of this stuff, you're going to lose parts that you didn't expect to. You're going to lose the float, you're going to lose the gaskets, things are going to disintegrate more than they already did. Alright, I let my carb parts soak for a little bit, and you can see just how much garbage came out of them. So hopefully once I reassemble this, it'll be a little cleaner and hopefully it'll function a little more efficiently in the engine. Let's give it a shot and make sure it still works. Alright, so I've moved the seat, or more accurately extended the seat, a little bit more forward. So the center balance will be a little more forward on this boat. And next what we're going to do is get a hold of some high octane gas and see if this runs any better with that. I'm going to use this aviation gas or airboat gas that I use for my airboat over here. And I've heard that these small engines like lawnmowers and weed whackers do appreciate a higher octane gas. So we're going to try to use that in our next test run and just see if it cleans up a little bit and if it goes a little bit faster. We've come to the part where I'm bored with this project, and my next step is probably going to be selling this little motor canoe. It's been a fun project, it's been kind of a cool experiment, but I don't have any long-term plans for it, and I'd like to open up some yard space and some garage space for other projects. such as this slightly larger boat that I just picked up, and that might be the subject of a future video as well. Until then, go ahead and like and subscribe, and you can see more silly boat projects and other projects along these lines.